Hello Stratters, welcome to Magic Gathering Strat. I'm Binky B, and this will be some Tiny Leaders games. Yeah! Originally, my friend August, who is piloting our focus deck for this evening, was meant to do the voice, but he has so much to do that I will do it for him. So I will be commenting on his games, and we'll take it from there. I left this name in the intro tag just because why not. So it's Chandra who is our focus deck today, and it's built like we think red should be built in Tiny Leaders. More mid-rangey, almost control-ish actually, rather than Lava Spike aggro. So he's up against Karlov and his opponent gets off a Soul's Attendant into Karlov, which is almost unbeatable for the red deck. Not that they can't kill a 4/4, they can, but it's kind of hard to do this early in the stage of the game. So the thing is that he has to prevent more life gain here. So a Searing Blaze will take out the Soul's Attendant, and hopefully there won't be much more life gain, but any life gain here will most likely seal the game already. So that should be a Solaport Cutthroat, and that is a life gain land, or is yeah, I think so, and a bash for 6. So it's looking very grim already for the red deck. Any spot removal would have taken care of this, but red only has burn based removal, so that's pretty harsh. So now the question is here, is there a way to raise Karlov, or is the plan still to burn it down or something? The problem is that if August would be able to use a bunch of resources to burn him down, he will come back and trigger some life gains and be the same problem. So I don't think that's a good plan. He doesn't have trample, so you might be able to jump block him or something a couple of turns and go over his head. And I like August player to bring in Chandra. It's by far the best resource he has to try to steal this game somehow. And yeah, I like that line a lot. So now the question is there more life gain? Do we have like an equipment of some sort? What have you? And his opponent has Banisher Priest. I'm sorry I forgot his name, so I'm just gonna call him opponent. And a good chunk of damage comes through, and yeah, the most awkward part here is that even if August takes down the Banisher Priest, I believe it will trigger the Solaport Cutthroat, and well, it doesn't really get him anywhere, so that is kind of awkward. Obviously there will be a tanking pause here because August has a bunch of cards to his disposal, so there could be a good play coming. So even if August can somehow muster the strength to to clear up the board a bit and get a board presence of his own, he's on a 2-turn clock. And that's not good. And I do believe Karlov have a second ability which involves removing a bunch of counters to, I think, exile something. I'm gonna check it up. I'm pretty sure it's exile. Yeah, exile target creature, so that's also something. So a village will come down tapped, And in comes Sudden Demise for 2, naming white, I would assume. I don't think you will put both creatures in. No. No, the Sudden Demise was on white, yeah. So Chandra comes back and Karlov grows. So Karlov is almost lethal by himself. Swords to Plowshares will take out Chandra, and I believe that should spell game here. Yeah, August scoops him up and that will be the game. So 1-0 for Karlov. Time for game 2 then. We have a little mulligan here from Karlov. But I think he will be fine anyway. It's a very unfortunate matchup for Chandra to be playing. Black and white has a bunch of good life gain cards and good disruption, potent threats, and with Karlov as their leader, that's just really good. So Monastery Swiftspear, a lot better start than Tapped Land Go. So we'll see if August opponent has something to kill it with, or if he's gonna go for a tapped land, or what his line is here. It looks like an Elixir of Immortality. Interesting. Not something you would normally just throw down on your first turn if you have anything better to do. I think I see a temple in his hand. I would probably have preferred to play that if I knew what I was searching for, of course. If my hand was perfect already, well, great. Or if I had another 1-drop, but any other 1-drop I would probably have played over Elixir, but oh well. Shrine comes down, triggering prowess. That's a great card to have access to. White do have good answers to it though, so we will see. That is a Ghost Quarter and a Nyx Fleece Ram. Alright. And I do have to mention here, it was very unclear if the player to the right announced the life gain. So for the first, I think, 1 or 2 turns, I just couldn't give him any life here in this video, because there was nothing indicating that he would gain life. Later on it becomes more clear. So Land Drop and Sword of War and Peace. No attacks because Nyx Fleece Ram is too big. As you can see, he just untaps and draws his card, so I don't think there was a life there. Sword of War and Peace is interesting. It's not game. If it was Sword of Light and Shadow, I would probably be more inclined to think it's game, but if the Karlov player can't do something about basically every creature or the sword, or muster a black blocker of some sort, this will be hard. The sword will hit for a good amount of damage. I do see, I think it's Swords to Plowshares in his hand, so I'd probably go for that in response to an equipment. But maybe he has something better to do. Ghost Court is pretty awkward too. You could go for tap planes, Ghost Quarter it, get a swamp, get Karlov into play. But yeah, Swords will take out Swiftspear, but he will do it on his turn. I'm not sure what he's playing around, but I think I would have tried to get a little bit more value and done it in response to an equipment. That is for sure happening. There is no way you don't go for the equip when you take your whole turn off to play a sword. So now the question is, do August have another creature? It looks like he do. It's an Abbot of Carol Keep. Usually it hits mountains when opponents are playing it. Yep. And if you're playing it yourself, you hit like a spell that is 1 mana too expensive to play. Always. So Abbott into Mountain into Equip when the opponent is tapped out. So it's looking pretty good for August this game. Still nothing indicating that a life is gained, so I'm still not counting on that. So if the right player has a land, he could go Karlov, Crack, Elixir. That would be a pretty good sequence. He goes for a... oh, okay, a Crusader. Alright, I can get behind that play. It can block Abbott fairly effectively, but there is still a Shrine of Burning Rage in play. And I'm just gonna assume that August will have to take out the Crusader with it, because otherwise he cannot attack anymore. And without attacking it will be hard to win. And if he has another land, he could actually go Crack Shrine and maybe get a haste attacker in or something. I'm not sure about the card count in the player's hands, but I think it's a decent chunk. Yeah, Shrine is gonna get sacrificed and take out the Phyrexian Crusader. I really like that play. It's a good heads up play, because your main priority here is to get damage in and just start getting the value, and the Crusader will be very annoying to battle through, so I think it's a great play to get rid of it, despite the Shrine being so good. It's basically the best thing you can do. So counting in the cards in hand for both players and the combat damage, the life total is now 30 versus 16. So, and there he actually announced the life gain, so now I can start adding it up. I'm not certain if the players themselves kept track of that, but there is nothing in the video indicating that that was the case. So August also missed his 4th land drop, which is worth noting. So now I still think Karlov is a good play here, or Blood Artist. You better have a good follow-up. You're just gonna play Karlov and pass? I'm not thrilled about that play. That's assuming a lot from a red player to not be able to kill a 2 toughness creature. I'm pretty certain I would just have cracked Elixir main phase. The only real threat there would have been a lightning bolt, I suppose. Now a Slagstorm will just devastate the Karlov board, and the Abbot won't even die because it has protection from red. So a small drain, that's not possible to get around, but yeah. In comes the Abbot again for a great chunk of damage. And I believe Karlov should be in the command zone. I guess you could put it in the graveyard if you have like Unearth or something. And a pass of the turn, and a life will be gained. Now, using the Elixir would give him probably a full extra turn. Maybe 4 mana. Recasting Karlov. If you can take out the Abbot, I guess he will get a lot of breathing room. That's kind of hard to do. He just passes. Interesting. So you must have something to do in instant speed, otherwise you would probably just play Karlov again. Looks like August picked up another land in form of Valakut. It's hard to see. We don't have the best equipment, let's just say that. Abbot comes in, no prowess, no nothing. And it looks like the damage is resolving. Alright. 37 versus 7 life. You can almost trigger Bloodburn of Viscopa there. Not that you can play it in 10 liters, but... In comes Chandra. That should put the nail in the coffin next turn. He's just gonna sacrifice Elixir. I'm not certain that that will get you very far. You basically nullify this attack, but in exchange you let your opponent advance this board. So I think a better play there would have been to just play Karlov again. Oh, did you shuffle it in? Alright. I am not certain about that, but alright. It's like 2 months since we played this tournament, so I cannot go over and ask the players. That's not possible. It's I think it's almost 3 months. Anyway, life will be gained, and if Karlov can't do anything good this turn, this has to be a really good turn. Like Banisher Priest will probably not do it. Tapping your mana very awkwardly also. Getting stressed, I could imagine. Yeah, that turn had to be like a Toxic Deluge or maybe like 2 removals would have worked also. Black Sun Zenith would have been decent. There's a lot of cards that could have been good there, but I guess you probably don't play those kinds of sweepers in a deck built to gain life and stuff, maybe. Well, Chandra is out of the way, so that should mean a full extra turn here. That what we'll get in for 5 as it stands, so it has to be a pretty good suit of burn here to end it this turn. Ratchet Bomb would indicate otherwise. It looks like a Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix it is. So this attack will be for 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think so. That basically means that the game is over, because Karlov will go up to 5, up to 6 from 5, sorry, and automatically take 2 from. I guess he has the land, the new Zendikar land. That couldn't gain him a couple of lives, but he has to attack with it, which is pretty awkward too. Well, he's gonna do that. Good heads up play there. So get in for 4, bringing August down to 36, yeah. And a timely reinforcements, and this one should not give him any tokens. Since it says if you have fewer creatures and you actually have more. So that's wrong, but they're kind of irrelevant here. So automatically this will be 6 damage coming through. So there is a pretty large gap here to be able to finish the game. Unless there is something like Price of Progress. No, it's a morph. It should be the Ire Shaman. So the second abbot, and it finds a village, I think it was. Yes. And it also has Menace, I think, so that's even worse. So 4, 5, 6, yeah, 6 damage I believe. Was it only 5 damage? Anyway, up to 9. Now, if Shambling Vents, I think its name is, yeah, will would attack to bring up to 11, then 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, he's just gonna scoop. So 1-on-1 in games and on to the final game. Third and final game. Come on, good match. So pretty nice from Chandra's perspective to be able to take a game against Karlov. Good start and just good sequencing overall from August meant that yeah, he could do that. Command Tower Inquisition. A great start, probably the best. We see a couple of lands, Bolt, Abbot and Swift Spear, and this I think is a good steal, taking the sword, because you would probably lose to it again. And your deck is full with removal, so you should be fine. See a Dragon's Claw as well, but he doesn't have a second land, and that is not something you can do against a red deck. Even this slower variant, you cannot do this. So it's a huge gamble. It has to be like the best hand known to man for me to keep a one-lander. August is gonna take the turn to play Kiln Fiend, and that's a good greedy play, if you can say that, because it represents so much damage, and if your opponent doesn't have like Swords to Plowshares, that's just brutal. But August is going to greed even a bit more with Chandra. Now, next turn could be game. It could be game. So Death Grasp is going to be discarded due to hand size. And I mean, a Lightning Bolt here would mean, what is it, 5 extra damage. So Lightning Bolt would be 8 damage. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Lightning Bolt would be 8 damage. Ping, alright. That's the worst part by editing. And Abbot, okay. Not a spell, which is bad. Hit a Ratchet Bomb. That's not gonna do it. Still, a Lightning Bolt would be pretty good here. There's so few cards that gets August opponent out of this, even if he starts drawing lands. And an attack, okay. Still in combat. Do see a Lightning Bolt. Yeah, Lightning Bolt. That's it. Trigger, trigger, trigger. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 should be the combat damage here. Boom. And then Chandra will be able to flip, inflicting another point of damage. And probably 2 more damage. Yeah. Pretty good turn. Pretty good turn. Any other spell and he would probably have won that turn, but Forgotten Cave will get played, which is an interesting choice, but it's fine. And his opponent will draw, play Kytheon, and that is certainly not gonna do it. He's just dead on board, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess no, he's not technically dead. Any spell though. Kytheon gets pinned down, and any spell would finish the game. Any spell. It's probably a game anyway, but let's see. Shaman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that should be game, but for some reason they did not scoop it up there, but it is actually in fact over. So 2-1 for Chandra, and that's a pretty good sign. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, it really helps us out. You can find us on Twitter at MagicGathStrat, Facebook /MagicGatheringStrat, or on the web, magicgatheringstrat.com. There you can find articles and free prize-supported leagues. This is all brought to you by our Patreons and cardhoarder.com. If you enjoyed this content, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/MagicGatheringStrat.